You guys remember how Baylan moved and when he's fighting Ahsoka? Very, very heavy, very long-winded strikes, big wind-ups, and it feels like he's almost holding a sledgehammer. Well, I'm going to talk about this super briefly. So if you didn't know, lightsabers had different knobs on them. What do the knobs do? Well, like we saw in Phantom Menace, they're able to either extend or retract the blade, change the heaviness, the power. That's of course in the games. If you want, you could have like a super long saber. If you want, you could have a super long saber that's really light and you can just go and chop your hand off. Or you can have one that you just increase the strength of it. And in the game, Star Wars, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and many other games, you're able to actually change, it's called, what's the color, but it's really the weight of the saber and how strong it is. So there was blue, which was like super fast, and your saber didn't do as much damage. But you were crazy with your Anakin Skywalker style prequels. Then there was the middle, which is like a yellow, and it's like kind of an in between. Like you're kind of heavy, you're doing some two-handers like sometimes, but really, you're just it's there, but it's pretty powerful, but it's not crazy powerful. And then there was the red. The red was like, bro, you could get maybe like 10, 20 hits taken to you while you're winding up and like moving this thing. It's just so slow, but like one hit and the guy's dead pretty much. So I think Baylan, for whatever reason, changed this or has this fighting style. I mean, he's a big dude and he's kind of almost like a knight of the old era, right? Where he's got the two-handed sword and he's just... And it just kind of reminded me of the games where maybe they're incorporating like to understand the differences between lightsaber settings. I would really love to get into the nitty-gritties of that because it's not just like you turn it on and that's it. There are honestly different settings. Like younglings had lightsabers that would just like give you a little buzz, but they wouldn't actually cut you or anything like that. For good reason. Younglings with lightsabers, not a good idea. It's like kids with scissors. I kind of feel like now we might maybe embark on perhaps learning a little bit more about, the functions and customizability of different lightsabers, whether it's in the games or in the shows. I'm hoping we're going to get that, especially with Baylan having an orange one and Shin Hati having an orange one. It's like the explanation, why Mace has a purple one, which is red and blue, which makes purple. These guys were like yellow and red perhaps, and they made orange, and they kind of came in between. And it shows sort of like the diversity in the spectrum of the different lightsaber colors and perhaps their meanings and reasons why the crystal is bleeding that color, which is like the new Disney term, bleeding. Why the crystal is that color to begin with. So maybe they are, dark Jedi, so they're still Jedi, but they're not like fully dark Sith yet. Maybe they're light Sith. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But just like Mace Windu had the dark side, he wasn't blue, but he was purple, but he wasn't red, right? So he was like in between. I would probably say like a dark Jedi, no, not a dark Jedi, like a dark light side user, or like a light dark side user, if you want to even say that, because he did create Vapod, which is the 7th lightsaber form, and that's more so like aggressive and very offensive, and Jedi don't typically use that form. So yeah, that's essentially what I think is happening there. So I thought it would be pretty cool to talk about it. So let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.